So I thought I'd show off this. I'm doing some testing. The concept is that this is going to essentially make sure that your character's always visible. So I did some debug to show what was going on. The red values are where things are occluded. And this is per grid cell. But the problem is, it doesn't look very good. I've got a bunch of tweakable values that can change, how many grid cells, what distance and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, I don't think this is the right way to go. I really want to do it so that the wall, like the entire wall in a region. So a region is, the box that this is a lounge. And obviously the materials are all sort of debug stuff so I can figure out what's going on. I did try a fade version of this, but again, fading doesn't look very good because you've got individual, instance meshes. So if you think of this, you can see that there's the red sort of debug line is just player to camera, so we know that the camera's position's being tracked properly. But it doesn't really fulfill its purpose, because you don't just want an individual wall segment going down, right? You want the whole wall going down. I'm using a material that basically has a custom float value sent from the grid to say how tall it should be, how much of the sort of wall should be drawn. Now you need to do it for the inside. You can see that there's some differences here, right? You need to do it for the inside wall and the outside wall, because the wall's made up of two parts, right? The neighbor cell and the internal cell wall. So you can see on the left there, the internal cell wall's been lowered, but directly in front of you, so where the camera's pointing, from the camera position, you see that the external wall's been lowered, but they need to kind of both lower at the same time, which is also an issue. I'll still play with this for a while longer. It's currently just using essentially like a line trace through the cell grid. What it actually needs to do, which is what I'm going to try next, is just it needs to do a frustum through the cell grid. Just because you don't want an individual segment going down. But it might be that a sort of essentially a pyramid of segments from the player's point of view to the camera might work better to keep the visibility at least. But might just have to rethink this and do it like a sort of on a per region basis. So each room's walls are treated as a group kind of thing. Anyway, there you go. It's an interesting little experiment anyway.